Just a quick post-fight video here, people. Josh Kelly wins his 5th professional fight with a 6-round TKO victory over Michel Hamilcaro. Hamilcaro was down twice in the 6th round, and as I say, that's the round he was stopped in. Now, this is not so much an analysis of the fight because there wasn't really too much to say. Hamilcaro was very negative. He was running the whole fight, just trying to survive. Josh Kelly was trying to hunt him down and slow him down, but he did find it a little tricky because when an opponent is being that negative, unless you're a Mike Tyson, then you're probably going to find it awkward to get the guy out of there in any type of quick time. So, you know, an awkward survivor of an opponent and a spoiler that Josh Kelly eventually dealt with. I want to talk about Josh Kelly with relation to the fight, but also in general, because this is the first time I've really talked about him on my channel. Now, he had an extensive amateur background. He won a bronze medal at the Olympics in 2016. A lot of people are hyping him. They're talking about him. They like his style. I've heard some people compare him to Prince Naseem. He's a welterweight. He's orthodox, or I believe he does switch hit though. And he stands, they say, 5 foot 10 inches tall, which is a pretty good height for a welterweight. That's taller than most welterweights. I can see why people are comparing him to Prince Naseem in terms of his hands down style and his creative shot selection and whatnot. Sometimes he'll lead with uppercuts and do unorthodox things. But listen, I was around and I watched Prince Naseem from his ITV days when he was fighting people like Vincenzo Belcastro for the European, I think that was super bantamweight title or bantamweight. Yeah, so I watched Prince Naseem on the rise, and I can assure you that Josh Kelly is nowhere near the talent that Prince Naseem was. I can understand why you're comparing him to Prince Naseem, but he's nowhere near that talented. Prince Naseem, regardless what people want to say about him, in terms of athleticism and natural punching power, he's one of the most talented fighters I've ever seen in my life. Okay, Josh Kelly doesn't have that level of talent in terms of the punching power, pound for pound, that Prince Naseem had, and the athleticism, the switch hitting and crazy moves and angles. Josh Kelly's not as talented as Prince Naseem. He's a bit more orthodox actually than Prince Naseem. He is unorthodox compared to the average fighter, but he's not as unorthodox as Prince Naseem. Because he's not as athletically gifted and not as much of a precocious puncher as Prince Naseem, not yet anyway, he's only 5 fights in, he might develop into a bigger puncher. He's also only 23 years old. But at this point, if I'm assessing him right now, he doesn't appear to have the kind of power Prince Naseem had. He seems like a decent puncher, but Prince Naseem wasn't a decent puncher. Prince Naseem was a ridiculous puncher. Like, his power was insane. So he doesn't have insane power like Prince Naseem. Not quite as athletically gifted. Therefore, I think his unorthodox style, his hands down approach, sometimes you have his hands down in front of opponents, that's going to be very, very risky for him as he moves up in competition. I hope as he moves up in competition, he gets his hands up a little bit more. He's going to need to. I'm telling you now, people, he's going to need to. Yes, there is a time and a place where you can have your hands down as a psychological weapon, if you like, in a fight. Tyson Fury against Vladimir Klitschko had his hands down and he was golding him and whatnot. So there's a time and a place where you can do it and it might work for psychological effect. But especially when you're dealing with welterweights and light middleweights, these are very talent-rich divisions. These are divisions where people are extremely sharp at the top, upper echelons of those divisions. So any tiny little mistake will be capitalized upon. This is not like heavyweights where people move a lot slower and throw far fewer punches. No, this is weight divisions where the margin for error is absolutely tiny. And Josh Kelly fighting the way that he does with the hands down and all that cockiness, yeah, it's cool at this type of level. But you don't want to get into bad habits. You know, when he fights guys who are faster, more ambitious, and hit harder, I hope he gets his hands up more and we see a bit more defensive awareness. We probably will, but I'm just saying, okay, just to put it out there. But definitely a good talent. I like the way he switches, you know, head to body, quick hands, nice punching power, finds unusual angles. He's definitely an athletically gifted and talented young man, no question about it. But as I say, if he's going to make it in this game long term and he's going to make it to the top, then the technical refinements are going to be absolutely key for this young man. He's going to have to refine himself technically as much as he can, and strategically as well. It's not just about your technique, it's also about your strategy at top level boxing. Andre Ward, for example, was a perfect demonstration of how strategy is so important. Because Andre Ward had very good technique, yes, a certain amount of athleticism, but it was really Ward's strategy that took him to that next level, and it was, you know, responsible for having him win against Sergey Kovalev, for example. Strategy, you know. So Josh Kelly, he's gonna have to learn these things. Hopefully he will. Hopefully he'll be guided the right way, get the right coaching. So drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you felt about Josh Kelly's 5th professional fight. How far do you think he can go? And let me know what you think of my assessment of Josh Kelly. Again, I'm not trying to rubbish him or anything like that, because I'm sure I will be accused of that by some of his supporters. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to take an objective look at him based upon my experience watching boxing for several decades, and what I see. That's all it is. You know, I'm not saying, I'm not dismissing his chances or anything like that. I'm just saying that every fighter has strengths and weaknesses, and it's about trying to hone your strengths and minimize your weaknesses, protect your weaknesses. You know, that's all. So let me know how you feel in the comment section, people. It's happening. I'm out.